welcome to Nassau.
Nassau is the capital of the island chain of the Bahamas and by far its most populated island. On most days there are several cruise ships in port as Nassau is the busiest cruise port in the Caribbean.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nassau. So we're here, we're going to do a walking tour. We're going to go to Junkanoo Beach. To go to Junkanoo Beach, we're going to walk by the Straw Market. And then we're going to go over to Fort Charlotte and show you how to get in there. And then head to Watlings Distillery. And then we're going to go by the Bahamas National Art Museum on the way to the Governor's House, walk by the Governor's House. And then we are going to then head up the hill to Fort Fincastle and the Queen's Staircase. And then we'll come back down the hill and we will hit the Parliament Square before we come back to the cruise ship.
How many miles is that?
So it's about, I think, 3.5 to 4 miles. Should take about an hour to an hour and a half just to walk it. And then we will, of course, stop and do some shots and do some camera stuff there. So, as you can see, Atlantis is behind us. And there are 5 cruise ships in port today. So it's very, very busy. We have 2 Norwegian ships, a Disney ship, a Royal Caribbean ship, and a Carnival ship. So let's go do the tour.
Bay Street has many high-end retailers that you will pass on the way to the beach as well as the popular straw market of Nassau.
Alright, so this is our first stop. It's the Straw Market. It's right on the west end of Bay Street. So it's a lot of just gifts, souvenirs, purses, shirts, hats, whatnot.
How about t-shirt for the lady?
So you can see, I'll show you around in here. So just kind of local shopping, a lot of straw-made stuff, purses and whatnot. So bamboo wind chimes, pretty cool stuff. You can even get some wood carving stuff. You see down on the end there. Kind of neat. Everything's negotiable. Just keep that in mind. So all the prices are negotiable. So enjoy.
At the end of Bay Street and Woods Rogers Walk, where you exit downtown Nassau, is Pompey Square, with some beautiful artwork and local handmade artisan crafts for sale from Bahamian vendors. This is where you take a left turn and walk on the sidewalk along Marlborough Street and follow the signs to Junkanoo Beach. We made it. Welcome to Junkanoo Beach. Junkanoo Beach is a great free beach option that's close to the cruise port. It does have 2 distinct sides. The end closest to the cruise port is where all the action is. It has the Tiki Bikini Hut, the bathrooms, a beach volleyball court, as well as several food huts and rental options. The end, away from the cruise port, is a much quieter, peaceful area, but there are no rentals and no beach chairs there. The beach and water on both ends are very nice. However, as you can see, the side where all the action is at can get very crowded, and the music being played by the locals on the beach can get very loud. If you would like more information on Junkanoo Beach, please see our full guided tour video that gives an overview of the walk to the beach, as well as all of the amenities available when you get there.
Alright, so that was Junkanoo Beach. It's a pretty nice beach. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little restaurants there where you can grab something to eat, little kind of food huts, almost like a food.
Pretty touristy and pretty full.
Yeah, definitely full. But there's beach chairs for rent with umbrellas, and I mean the water, I didn't go in the water, but you did.
It wasn't bad.
So,
Yeah, it wasn't
pretty nice. Yeah, so it's a really good option. It's about 15 minutes, probably 15-minute walk from the port. But probably if you go to the straw market, you're almost halfway there. Sidewalks all the way. So far it's pretty nice. Now we're on our way to Fort Charlotte. Again, we're just kind of walking along the water. You can see here, it's all sidewalks. Beautiful blue water. There's the Nassau Lighthouse, and there's the cruise ships back there. So you can kind of see how close we are. It's not a bad walk. So next, Fort Charlotte. All right, so we're made up to Fort Charlotte. That's actually Fort Stanley right there behind us. You can actually see it's a pretty nice view. You can see the Nassau Harbor and the lighthouse. Behind us, this is actually Fort Charlotte back there. And you can see there's a little shopping area in front. So this is where, like, if you get a bus tour or if you take a taxi, they actually drive you up here. We actually had to walk up a pretty steep hill to get up here, and it wasn't sidewalk the whole way, so we had to walk on the road. So you got to be careful with that for sure. Admission here is $5 per person right now. In May of 2019, you can see up there. We're not going to go in just because for sake of time, but there are cannons and stuff. So it's a typical Bahamian fort. If you want to see some of the history, you can come up here. But it was about a 10-minute walk from Junkanoo, and some of that was uphill. So just letting you know. And it's hot, so we're sweating. We're getting a little tired, but we're gonna try to finish up this walking tour. So next is the Rum Distillery, so let's go check that out. All right, so we came down the hill on the other side of Fort Charlotte.
We interrupt this Nassau walking tour with a Fun Ashore public service announcement.
All right, first things first, as you can see, we're safe. There are some areas in Nassau that are not considered safe, both due to crime and just not being a safe pedestrian area. Those are actually highlighted on our website. We have a whole page of places to avoid for Nassau as well as for other ports as well, but we're just talking specifically here about Nassau. There is an area of Nassau that is not necessarily the safest area, and this is the over the hill area where it's kind of a residential area, but it's not necessarily the safest, especially since there are no sidewalks in that area. And based on what you just saw, when we came down the hill from Fort Charlotte. All right, so we came down the hill on the other side of Fort Charlotte.
that means we were, quote, over the hill and in a non-safe area. So we would not recommend going down that way from Fort Charlotte to John Watlings. And at the end of this video, I'm going to leave kind of an updated map showing what we recommend the walking tour, and it's not going to include Fort Charlotte. So keep that in mind, stay safe in all things. The walking tour we will post will be all sidewalks, all kind of in the downtown area, and hit the highlights. So just wanted to break in here with a little public service announcement on kind of what happened. And you'll see some of the video here where we were on some streets that were a little sketchy and not necessarily kind of the best option. I didn't film it all, but I did get a couple small clips showing kind of where we were. So back to the tour. Well, we're gonna go down this way to John Watlings Distillery and walk by the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas. Not going there. So, but as you can see, there are no sidewalks on this road, so be careful. So we're here at John Watlings. It's actually a beautiful little oasis in kind of the center of center of Nassau. It's right in the middle of the city. Yeah. So right up on, kind of up on top of the hill. But you can see here, it's just kind of beautiful all around. There's some chickens, roosters, and little chicks kind of roaming around, but it's really kind of a beautiful place just to kind of take a pit stop and enjoy your time here in Nassau.
How you doing?
Doing good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Would you guys like to grab a sample off the tray there? We can allow it to John Watlings and rock on the inside.
Oh wow, absolutely. Thank you.
What about the winter one?
It's pina colada.
Oh,
Alright, so first off, what I'd like to do is I'd like to welcome you both here at John Watlings Distillery. Now here at John Watlings, you all get free samples you both just enjoyed, as well
it's really
as
good.
free tours. My name is Devante. I'll be showing you around for the next 10 minutes or so. So whenever you're ready, just let me know. You know, the Americans at this point still being a part of the British. So these people were actually referred to as the 8 Lord Proprietors of the Carolinas. But you know, back then, people were never really too satisfied with what they had. They basically got in touch with King Charles and said, hey, the acres and acres and acres of land you gave us is kind of nice, but the Bahamas looks even better. Can you work it out? And that's essentially what happened. 6 out of the 8 Lord Proprietors of the Carolinas became the Lord Proprietors of the Bahamas as well. And when they came here on a mission to put an end to piracy and restore law and order to the 2,000 islands and keys. As you might be aware, the Bahamas is kind of a pirate's haven at this point. Men and women of infamy alike moved about these waters. People like Anne Bonny and Mary Read. As a matter of fact, Blackbeard's personal well can be found down the road from the Hilton Hotel, and where the Hilton now stands actually used to be Old Fort Nassau, where they would hide the pirates as show of example, basically saying, hey, if you don't cut this crap out, we're gonna cut your neck. So yeah, some of the pirates hanging around for so long to the point where they even had their own islands. Off the Cat Island, Henry Morgan took refuge in either Exuma or Eleuthera, and of course John Watlings himself made home out of San Salvador, where if you were to visit that island today, there's a structure there known as Watlings Castle, where of course John Watlings himself actually resided.
okay.
So yeah.
Is John Watling
John Watling
was a pirate?
was a pirate.
I did not know that.
And now you know.
I did not know that.
Pirates and rum.
That's what it's
Oh,
all
well,
about.
hey, I knew there was a correlation, but I wasn't aware. Yeah.
Now, what you're seeing in front of you right now is actually our hand-cut well. The well is about 74 feet deep and 200 years old, and the walls of the well are actually made out of limestone, so there's a natural filtration going on at all times. So from here, we're heading inside the distillery now. This is probably the part you came for. And this is that's about $10.75.
So we're gonna say screw it.
No, we're not.
We're here at John Watlings Distillery. We had a pina colada, and yeah, tiny little pina colada. And we're tired. It's been a long walk, and it's been hot, and it's been a little sketchy as far as walking on roads with no sidewalks, with cars driving on the wrong side of the road, and everything.
They're right side.
Yeah, they're right
Far
side.
wrong.
But we've only been hit, or only been close to being hit. Rooster wanted to make it on YouTube. We've only been close to being hit, probably no less than 6 times. So
True.
definitely, if we are going to recommend a walking tour, it will not be out to Fort Charlotte, because that kind of brought us out into an area where there's no sidewalks. There are some sketchy areas, neighborhoods and stuff.
Actually,
So
what I was going to say is, going to Junkanoo Beach was fine.
yep.
From Junkanoo Beach to Port Charlotte, okay. Going any further than that, it just got really kind of scary.
Yeah.
Not necessarily neighborhood-wise.
But
we
I
were
would-
in the middle of a neighborhood, but
I would just say don't even go to Fort Charlotte. Because you could come straight from Junkanoo Beach up to here, to John Watlings, and then start heading back towards Government House and towards Bay Street and Market Street down by downtown. And then if you want to, that'll take you by the Governor's Mansion. If you want to, you can go up the hill, climb up the hill to the Queen's Staircase and Fort Fincastle, which are cool. We've already been there and seen it, which is kind of why we're okay with ditching it. But it's hot and it's a long walk, and we want to sit on the deck of the boat and get something to eat, get several cold drinks,
that rooster's nuts.
and enjoy our cruise. So that's what we're going to do, because that's what cruising is all about. So sometimes plans change. Not that we couldn't finish the walking tour, especially since the rest of the area is kind of close to downtown, so there's sidewalks. And we'll walk down around there, and we'll show you the rest of the way back to the ship. But we're gonna go get a cold drink. And I'm gonna go get video of this rooster who's been trying to be a star. He is big and he is fat. There's actually 2 of them. Pretty big and pretty cool.
Just around the corner from John Watlings is the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas. Admission into the art gallery is $10 per person, and they are closed on Mondays. Between the art gallery and the governor's mansion is West Hill Street, which is also known as the Heritage Village. This is where you'll find Graycliff, which has a cigar factory and a chocolatier, as well as several other shops, boutiques, and restaurants.
All right, so we just walked down West Hill Street. We actually passed the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas. Graycliff is actually right here on the corner, which they make
Everything.
a cigar factory, and they make chocolate. They do tours and tastings and all that.
They also had a winery, and there was like everything was called Graycliff. Something of Graycliff. Everything.
Its
on the
place is actually pretty huge. It's almost like a full city block, and it has a really cool history. You can go to our website and see a lot about the history of Graycliff. And actually, right next to Graycliff, you can see it kind of in the background, but then there's the governor's mansion. So it's a pretty cool little area right here. We're kind of hitting a lot of the high spots on our way back to the ship.
Continuing down Hill Street brings us by the governor's mansion. And if we continued east, we would end up just down the hill from Fort Finn Castle and the Queen's Staircase. But instead, we're going to turn left here and go down the hill, down Market Street. On our way down the hill from the governor's mansion, we passed Balcony House, which is actually the oldest wooden structure in Nassau. At the bottom of the hill, just past Balcony House, we ended up back on Bay Street, right near the Straw Market.
So we have made it back into the port area. Got our badges back on, so if
you don't wear these when you're not right here, you don't wear them.
People still know you're a tourist from a cruise ship, but
You don't want to go.
we don't need to further advertise it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, let's get back on the ship, get something to eat, get some cold drinks in us, and back into cruise mode.
So this is the revised map for the Nassau walking tour. It's removed the leg out to Fort Charlotte and reduced the overall length of the walking tour by almost 1 mile.